I'm doing great, John. How are you, sir?
All right, I'm doing pretty good. Got a visitor here for just a moment. It's a little bit of
That's
background,
always
but
fun.
yeah. Hey, how are you doing?
A lot of times when I'm doing a video from home, the visitor is a cat or two that gets interested and comes hopping into my feed.
Yeah, right on.
Have you seen that video? We love news bloopers. This is completely off topic, but there's a guy like giving some serious talk about something I think is happening in Great Britain, and in the background you see his kid in a walker bust through the door, and then like minutes later you see the mom come scrambling in and pull the kid out. It's hilarious.
Yep. I think that was the that one made the major headlines on all the memes across the internet. That was viral, very viral kind of thing. Yeah, I've had my cat pop up on videos when I'm doing them at home. I usually try to do more in the office. It makes it a little bit more professional look in here, right? Because we're all professionals in this business, and we do want to make sure that anybody that's out there, we want to make sure that you're understanding real estate and understanding mortgages. Kevin and I are here to share our knowledge and information so that you are making knowledgeable, smart decisions and avoiding costly mistakes with real estate. So John Polson with the Memory Group here, and Kevin Onizuk with Alcova Mortgage. Kevin, today I thought it would be really cool to kind of just dig into some somewhat real world scenarios of what can an average person expect to be able to do when they have a typical income, and what does that translate to in what kind of a house can I buy? So if I'm an average income,
affordability is definitely a hot topic.
right?
People are thinking about home prices. People are thinking about interest rates and what can they afford. And really, that's two pieces. We're going to look at mortgage guidelines and say, okay, according to mortgage guidelines, here's what you can afford. But you also have to know what's in your budget. If I reach out and say, hey, you are pre-qualified for an estimated payment of $4,000 a month, like, oh my gosh, you're crazy. I don't want to pay any more than $2,500 or whatever it may be. And that's part of the pre-qualification process and getting ready to go house hunting. And I'm gonna give a little peek behind the curtain. Oh, I was gonna do some screen sharing.
Oh yeah, I think I got it.
Disabled screen sharing.
Somehow I have to give you permission there, don't I? Let's see, participants, and where is that? Screen share. Multiple, yeah, there we go. Let me see if you can share now. No?
Yep, I think it's working.
Okay, yeah, excellent. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I can see your screen.
Yeah. So this is our loan origination software. So this is where we put people's information in and then kind of look at credit, look at affordability. Today, we're going to look at affordability. So I think you can see my cursor. If you look up there, that's really the magic number we are looking at right there, debt to income ratio. So in qualifying somebody in mortgage guidelines, we're primarily looking at that. And the debt to income ratio is factored from someone's income. In this case, we have somebody making $5,000 a month. In the mortgage world, we look for gross before taxes and insurance and everything else comes out.
Right.
I put in a couple sample bills. So let's say they have a car payment of $500, student loans of $100 a month, and credit cards of maybe $150 a month in payments. So that goes into these items here. Liabilities go into this second number. The first number is just your mortgage payment compared to that gross income. The second number is the new mortgage payment plus these other bills. So in general, that first number, the mortgage payment versus the gross income, the comfortable levels typically about a third or less. So 33%, but it can go higher. It can go to 40, sometimes even a little bit higher. And that we call back number, the total bills versus income. Like the comfortable number is typically 45% of your gross income or less. going out for all of your bills once you purchase the home,
Right.
but we can go higher. Some programs 50%, some even 55% or more.
Okay.
And you have to keep in mind, if you're making, say $4,000 a month and you're at a 50% bills versus income, so half of your income going out the door after taxes and everything doesn't leave you with much. But if you're making $10,000 a month and half of your income is going out the door in bills and obligation, then you still actually have a decent amount left, disposable income, we call it. We don't really look at that too much other than on a VA, but that just for your own personal affordability, you definitely want to keep that in mind. Where if we say, oh yeah, you can afford this mortgage payment per mortgage guidelines, you also have to make sure that you can still afford groceries and the clothes and things, whatever expenses you have in your life. So let's do a quick scenario here. This is for a conventional mortgage. Let's say somebody did a $250,000 purchase. Let's say they put down just 5% down.
Okay.
Can do even less on a conventional loan.
And it tells you that amount is 4,250. Oh, okay. 12,500. Yeah. 5% would be 12,500.
Yeah. And let's say that's probably a little on the low side. Let's say right now on a conventional, we are at 6.5.
Okay. And these are not represented numbers. These are just kind of samplings, right? So this is not a price quote or a rate quote.
Yep. Yeah. So this person making $5,000 a month, $60,000 a year, can afford a $250,000 home purchase, and their bills versus income, that front number, the housing ratio 34 is fine. Like I said, about a third is good and comfortable.
Okay.
And then the back number with all bills is 49%. So definitely a qualifying scenario in most cases. And as far as mortgage rates go, conventional mortgages are probably right now mid sixes.
Yeah.
If we go to something like an FHA or VA mortgage, rates are even lower right now. We're seeing low sixes and even down into the fives in a lot of cases, depending upon what date you catch it. So that's a conventional mortgage. We can look at an FHA. That's pretty popular right now. Let's see. Yeah, some of this is slow, so it may not be thrilling videos to watch. But let's see.
Well, this is for me. This is kind of neat because it shows, when you clicked FHA, your front end ratio changed right away. So obviously the payment is changing. There's a couple different things. Okay, you got to fill some stuff in here.
And then we do have to change the mortgage insurance cost on an FHA.
Yep.
Let me click that button.
So there's a lot of little magic buttons that get pushed here in the qualifying and the approval pre-qualifying process. And I think that's what I wanted folks to be able to understand is that there sometimes can be this assumption that you can't do something because you just feel like you're held back. And Kevin, you're here to empower people with information. And
exactly. And we go through all these scenarios with folks. We're going to look, if you want to buy that $250,000 house, we're going to look at different mortgage programs. We're going to look at different down payment options to see what is the best fit and what becomes most affordable for you. And as you can see, with less down payment on an FHA, you're getting a lower interest rate and your qualifying percentages, your debt to income ratio up top, is still about the same, meaning your monthly payment's about the same.
Cool.
So yeah, then there's pluses and minuses to both programs, which we would certainly go over and help you make an educated decision.
And that's going to depend on the borrower, right? So we don't know in this particular case what somebody's credit score is. We don't know what they have for a down payment. In fact, we're assuming that they're using a minimal down payment. So if you're watching and you're looking at what these loan amounts are, this is just a snapshot scenario of a atypical individual. at
And
this point, a lot of times we have folks that are coming into a home purchase that have sold another home. So they're bringing a significant amount of equity, or maybe they have other funds available for perhaps that down payment. So this is a single funding scenario where minimal down payment is involved. And, you know, then of course you got debt to income ratios, or you got the other debts like the car payment, the student loan payments, and credit card payments. And if you have a heavy car payment, $500 a month is not an unusual car payment. But I had, in fact, you and I were working on a scenario for an individual that had a single car payment of $900 a month on a new truck. Nice to have a beautiful new truck, but $900 a month was keeping that person from being able to qualify for the home that he wanted to buy. And that payment was kind of a setback at that point. So how do you remedy that? There's solutions to helping you kind of get yourself on track so you can afford a home. And they're not always, you know, snap your finger kind of decisions, but they are things that you can work through with time so that you can put yourself in the right position to be able to qualify and buy a home. And that's a really important thing for people to be able to do in any environment, is to be able to own a home where you can control your environment, you control your payments, you control where you live. And that's a huge factor in being able to achieve the dreams that we have, is being able to have control of our environment. So it's part of the American dream.
yeah, absolutely. And the down payment doesn't have to be an obstacle either. You saw that number that came up for down payment. There are lower and no down payment mortgage programs. There's down payment assistance grant funds for first-time home buyers that can help in many cases. You know, so there's a lot of opportunities out there to help make home buying affordable.
Very good. Yeah. So there's we didn't even talk about USDA loans, FHDA or VHDA, and some of these rural housing loans, which then qualifies the individual and the location of the property. A lot of this area around us here qualifies for a good many of those loan programs.
Absolutely.
Well,
On
Kevin,
a side note, I don't know if I mentioned, I ordered a chicken and an egg online. I'll let you know which comes first.
man, that will be the answer to so many dilemmas. That is like, I hope to look forward to hearing what you find out about that. That's a good one. Well, you know, last week I was in Nashville, Tennessee. I'd never been in Nashville. I lived in Chattanooga for a short little while, kind of in between summers when I had a job after college a few years ago. Love Tennessee, beautiful place. Spent some time in Nashville, which is pretty wild. It's pretty vibrant community downtown there, and that was a lot of fun. So that was my 51st birthday. Enjoyed that a lot, but you know, Tennessee, Nashville is a beautiful place. But what did Tennessee?
Tennessee, what?
The same thing as Arkansas.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Well, on that note, Kevin, thank you for this little educational minute with mortgages here. This is, our goal is to help people feel educated and gather information. And, you're here to answer mortgage questions. I'm certainly here to help people with any real estate related questions that they may have. This scenario that we walked through today, I feel like was just a nice little, kind of help people understand what the software looks like. Not that they need to understand the software, but kind of what those numbers mean. What does an average income look like for, where it comes to qualifying for a home purchase? And that home purchase doesn't have to be a scary thing. You're here to help them walk through that. And I'm here to help them find homes. And if you want to sell a home, we're here to help you sell that home as well, so you can get on to the next thing. And Kevin, at this point, I will wrap this up. Thank you so much for your time. We will make another appointment for next week, and I look forward to having a chance to talk to you again next week.
Sounds great.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Great week.
Take care. Bye-bye.